Today I will be introducing a really special car. It is a 1999 Mercedes C43 AMG, also known as the Pocket Rocket. AMG started in 1967 by two German engineers. What they would do, they would add flares, pump up the horsepower, add wider tires, and enhance the overall performance of the car. They were working on a 300 SE engine in the Mercedes development department when Daimler-Benz put stop to all motorsport activities. Both these engineers left and started a new company as now we know as AMG. After leaving Daimler-Benz, both these engineers started to work on the legendary 300 SEL 6.8 liter, also known as the Pig, that ended up being a champion in its class and winning second overall in 24-hour Spa race in 1971. After that, these two engineers started to get people's attention, so the super wealthy would buy a Mercedes SEC, E-Class or the SL and take it to AMG to make it a performance vehicle. They were rare and special. The reason why the C43 is special is because it was the first C-Class with the V8 and it was the second C-Class after the C36 that you could buy from Mercedes dealership with the AMG upgrades. The Mercedes C43 is rare, but in Canada it's ultra rare because in Canada we only received 158 model from 1998 to 1999. The Mercedes C43 has a V8, a 5-speed automatic transmission. The engine revs to about 6,000 RPM with zero lag. The torque is available right away. The Mercedes says that it does 0 to 60 miles per hour in 5.2 seconds, but I think it does it faster, that I will show in the driving section. The Mercedes C43 has a lot more upgrades than a normal W202. It has an AMG exhaust, upgraded suspension, upgraded sway bars, wider tires, and of course that big V8. Why it got its nickname Pocket Rocket is because when Mercedes released this car, people were surprised that how can they put such a big engine in such a small car. All C43s came with staggered monoblock wheels. What monoblock means that the wheel was formed by one piece of aluminum, and what staggered means that the rear wheel is wider than the front wheel. Good examples of these cars started to go up in value. At one point they were cheap cars, people bought them and drove them to extinction. That is why there aren't many good examples left. But now they're catching collectors and car enthusiasts' attention. Mind you, it's only true for the cars that are low in kilometers and well kept. Another great thing about this car is that it does not need a lot of maintenance. The engine is built to last. The only thing you have to be mindful of is the transmission fluid. That must be changed regularly. So in this part of the video, I'll be talking about the power, the handling, the transmission, and of course the suspension. So the power of this car is really instant. So when you start driving it, you'll feel it that it almost has an electric car feel to it, but with sound. It accelerates really quick without any lag. So it doesn't need time to think. And this engine has a lot to give. You can tell just by the sound of it. It has a really beautiful roar to it. So, and the roar is coming from the exhaust. But in this car, the exhaust and the engine, both of them have a sound, so that's really nice. But unfortunately nowadays in AMGs the sound is really amplified. And it's a muscle car. You know how some muscle car, when you accelerate, they have that whistle to it? This car does have that whistle, and it has an endless torque that is available from 1000 RPM and goes up to 6000 RPM. This car is a bridge between the classic and the modern. So it does both. So when you start driving it, you have that classic Mercedes feel to it, but the power gives it the modern feel. And the body lines are very simple. It's a very simple looking car, but at the same time it catches people's attention. It's not a car that will go unnoticed, and especially if you're a Mercedes fan and you see this car, you will be drooling. This example is it only has 48,000 kilometers, and I would like to keep it that way, so that's why I don't drive it as often. But of course, again, if you see me around town and you want to ride, please let me know. I would love to share my passion with other people. Because of that huge V8 in the front, the car is really planted through corners, and the back end really follows the front end. The suspension, the faster you go, the better this car handles. And I've experienced it because I go for drives with my friend who have like a GT3 and GT4s, and I keep up with them pretty well. And I've realized for me, I have to try a bit harder, but when I would take corners faster, I would do better than I would take them slow. The transmission is really smooth. It goes in and out of gears effortlessly. So I would say it's a very effortless transmission. It has two settings, so it's comfort, there is comfort and there is sports. In sports setting, it's a bit more aggressive and it holds on to the gears for a longer period of time. Whereas in comfort, it's comfortable, you know. It'll change really smoothly and it won't hold on to the gear. It is a 5-speed automatic. Many people ask me that, oh, I wish it was a manual. But honestly, I feel that manual would be too much for this car. So I think automatic is perfect because this engine is really demanding, and it's a powerful engine. It's 307 horsepower and you can use all the horses. It's not modern day fast, but it can get you in trouble. The seats are great. They hold on to you nicely, but they're not choking you at the same time. And through corners, they hug your waist. I do not like seats that are hugging my shoulders, you know, or holding on to my shoulders while I'm driving. So these seats work perfectly for me, and they're air seats, so you can adjust the air. So, you know, you can inflate or deflate whichever part of the seat you want. So these are the things that I like about my Mercedes C43 AMG, the pocket rocket. Thank you. Lastly, if you find a nice C43 with low kilometers, buy it. They're worth the investment. They're rising in value, collectible, historically important, and a pleasure to drive. This small pocket rocket ticks all the right boxes.